Hello and welcome back to the Quick Slant on Green Bay Packer Nation. Today is Wednesday and it's by the numbers. We're going to go back and look at the statistics that factored into the Packers' big win against the Bears last week, and we're going to also look ahead to the numbers that might impact the coming game between the Packers and the Ravens. Okay, let's start with the Packers-Bears game. There are several key stats, some of which we mentioned in the rants and raves, some of which we didn't. So the one that we keyed on in rants and raves was the fact that the Packers converted 44% of their third down plays. That was huge. I mean, as a general rule, it's still not enough in the NFL. You really want to be above the 50% mark to be dominant in that area. However, considering the fact that in the Detroit Lions game, they only converted 29% of their third downs, jumping to 44% is a huge improvement, and that just says a lot about how Brett Hundley is kind of getting more comfortable with the offense, and the offense is getting more comfortable with Brett Hundley. So the fact that we've jumped to 44% is very encouraging as far as where we were in the Bears game. One of the other key statistics in the Bears game that really stood out to me was that we held Howard to only 54 rushing yards. That's important because Howard is a very good back, and they've been relying on him. He has been carrying that team on his back ever since, even before Mitch Trubisky took over the offense. He had been carrying that offense on his back because even when Glennon was running the show, he wasn't that outstanding. So the fact that we held Howard to only 54 yards is great. The final stat as far as the positives go that I wanted to mention was 5 sacks in this game against the Bears. That was big. We have got to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks to keep their score down if we're hoping to win enough games to get into the playoffs. Brett Hundley will be able to score points. I'm more convinced after the Bears matchup than any, but we do need to have our defense keep the opponent's scores low so that we have a chance to win every game. So those are the positives. The negatives about the Bears game, as far as I was concerned, is number one, we let a rookie quarterback generate 297 yards of passing against us. That's not acceptable. We're coming up against Joe Flacco and the Ravens offense. I've never thought Joe Flacco was an elite quarterback. I just almost laughed at the fact that they paid him so much after the Super Bowl win, because he's just not that good a quarterback. He's a good enough quarterback that he probably won't lose his starting position, but he's really not that good a quarterback. However, he's way better than a rookie quarterback, and so the fact that we let Mitch generate 297 yards of passing against us makes me concerned because Joe Flacco could easily eclipse that. Then the final negative stat from the Bears-Packers game that I wanted to mention was, and we reflected on this in the rants and raves, was the fact that the Packers field goal unit was 3 for 4, and they were barely 3 for 4. If you remember, one of those kicks rang the left upright and ricocheted in. That could easily have been a missed field goal as well. So the 3 of 4 field goals could have been 2 of 4, and that is completely unacceptable in a Brett Hundley-led offense. In an Aaron Rodgers-led offense, those field goals are just kind of icing on the cake when things kind of come off the rails on a drive. But with Brett Hundley at the helm, we need every point we get. And Mason Crosby and company are going to have to be on mark. So they're going to have to clean that up. And one of the big things that concerns me about that is that this is not the first game we've struggled with this. And they still haven't seemed to be able to right the ship. So that bothers me. So let's move on to the Packers versus the Raiders matchup. If we look at the Packers offense versus the Ravens defense and the Packers defense versus the Ravens offense, there are a few things that really stand out to me as far as statistics go. The Packers defense is 17th in the nation against the pass. We've honestly have heard a lot of people down on the Packers defense, pass defense, but we're right in the thick of things as far as pass defense goes, but we're coming up against a Ravens offense. And this again goes back to how I just don't think Joe Flacco is an outstanding quarterback. The Ravens offense, the Ravens pass offense is dead last in the league, 32. So I think that bodes well for the Packers-Ravens matchup. The fact that our defense will not that they won't have to be on their game, but they'll be less likely to be picked apart. Honestly, it seems like with a Ravens offense that's 32nd in the league, it seems like we'll be coming up against another Mitch Trubisky where they just have trouble generating yardage through the air. So that's encouraging. If we go to the Packers' offensive side of the board, the Packers' offense, as far as the run goes, is 19th in the nation, which is not outstanding, but it's kind of middling. However, the Ravens are 28th in defense against the run. So I would expect that we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on the run, whether that's Williams hammering the ball down the Ravens' throat, or whether that's Randall Cobb and the Wildcat. For the record, I don't like the Wildcat, but Randall Cobb could generate some yardage in the Wildcat. Or if Hundley's hamstring is not tight, he could really generate some yardage running the ball. So that's one thing that we should keep an eye on. Then, as far as pass offense, the Packers are only 22nd in the league in pass offense. Much of that is because Brett has taken over for Aaron Rodgers, but the Ravens are 3rd in the nation in pass defense, and they actually lead the nation in interceptions. So, what that says to me, and what that statistic makes me want to watch for is if Brett can throw the ball with consistency against this Ravens defensive backfield and not throw any interceptions, that will, to me, will say that Brett has taken another big step forward in his development as an NFL quarterback, because this pass defense that we're going to meet is an outstanding defense, and they are ball hawking. So that is probably the primary thing I'm going to be watching for is, will Brett be able to throw the ball with consistency against this Ravens defense and not throw any interceptions? If he can do that, then I'm going to be pretty pumped about our chances for picking off enough wins to get Aaron Rodgers back on the field and get into the playoffs. So let me know what you think. Definitely, if you're new here, we'd love to have you subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you want to get notifications every time we go live with a new video. And until next video, go Pack.